Yes. British food is trash. And I now know this because I have experienced what another world's cuisine has to offer. Japanese cuisine is so many light years away from British cuisine, it is actually depressing. It is so depressing that I need to come back and live in a country where the food is this bad. I went to a yakiniku place and this is where my eyes were fucking opened, right? And manager-san ordered this giant tiered fucking course meal where it was like a spiral staircase. It was so, it was so big. A spiral staircase with beautiful like dry ice candles and flowers all over it. And at the top you had ox tongue, which was pretty fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was nice and tender. It was really flavorful. And I thought, damn, you know, that was really good. I was not prepared for what was to come. Whatever the fuck it was that came next was this thin strip of meat. I'm not sure what part of the cow it came from, but it was a thin strip of meat. In the UK, there are some restaurants that will say they are going to serve you Wagyu beef. They are lying. They are 100% lying. They are not serving you Wagyu beef. They are serving you a pale fucking imitation, because what I was staring at was real A5 Wagyu beef. It was thin, and it was like 80% intramuscular fat. I couldn't believe how marbled it was. I was in awe. The manager-san started cooking it for us because he was more experienced. And we had a little row of dips that we could use. And so I dunked it in some sort, I think it was in soy sauce, and I gave it a bite. And when I say that cut of meat disappeared, melted in my mouth, melted on my tongue in 3 seconds flat, with all the goodness and happiness from all of the happiness and memories that cow carried with it throughout its entire life up until its death, at which point it was then placed upon my plate. All of that love, warmth, and happiness melted straight on my tongue, and I have to say, if I wasn't in a business environment, I would have came everywhere. It was mag-fucking-nificent. Oh my God, the sushi. Oh, the sushi we had. So, you guys know me very well. I don't like seafood at all. It doesn't please me. I don't like the flavor. I don't like the taste. I don't like the smell. Seafood doesn't sit right with me on the best of days, on the worst of days. Seafood is my kryptonite. However, I was in a new part of town, new part of the world, and I decided, you know what? It's time for something new. It's time to experience a new taste. It's time to experience a new flavor. And manager-san took us to this very upmarket sushi place. I mean, pause. Very upmarket sushi place. Very upmarket sushi place. It was this like hidden underground place with a course menu. So it's a set menu, no choices. Everybody gets the same thing brought out in these waves. My experience with this sushi place was it was very interesting because it started out and I was really apprehensive. I was like, I'm going to get through this quite slowly, and I might not eat very much. But then, and I'm playing this very inspiring music for a reason, we were brought a little soup, and in that soup, the soup was seaweed flavored, and it smelled it too. And in that soup was a crab cake. And I smelled it and I thought, no. I thought, no, I don't want it. I don't want it at all. And I saw everyone else, and I saw them take their chopsticks, and I saw them put this crab cake straight into their mouth, and so what I did, I broke off a tiny little piece of this crab cake swimming in this soup, and I ate it. And it tasted like seafood. And I expected myself to spit it up. No, that's but then I sat there with the crab cake in my mouth, and I started thinking, this ain't half bad. And so, I took another bite. And I thought, you know what? This ain't half bad at all. And I kept eating, and I ate, until the crab cake was all done. And then, the challenge of the evening had only just begun. For next, we were presented with a round of raw yellowtail tuna. And I sat there and I readied myself for battle. Readied myself to do battle with this food. We had there was sort of some white cuts of fish and some red cuts of fish in this little bowl. And I was worried. I thought, raw fish, this is the last thing I ever thought I would want to eat. And I got my chopsticks, and I bent down, and I gave it a sniff, and it didn't smell too fishy, and I thought, maybe it won't be so bad. I took a bite. And I loved it. And I loved it. I thought it was delightful. I scooped the other one up and I put it straight in my mouth right away. And of course it came with a little side of wasabi, and I was running it around in the wasabi, and I was eating plenty of it, and I was loving every single morsel that I was eating. I thought it was so beautiful. But the white cuts of tuna that I had first weren't even anywhere near as good as the red cuts. The red cuts were presented on this little mint leaf, and I picked up the mint leaf with a piece of this red tuna in it and put the whole thing in my mouth, and it might have been the best thing I'd eaten all day. It tasted so unlike anything I was expecting. It was, I don't know, it didn't even taste like seafood. It had this beautiful, like, sort of soft, neutral texture, but with a very powerful, I'm not really sure how to describe the flavor, but it was new, brand new. And I've lived so long, I didn't think there were many more flavors for me to try, and here they were, brand new ones. Laid out in front of me, it unlocked a whole new world. And it was at that moment that I realized, I don't hate seafood. I just hate British seafoods. All these incredible flavors, they just affected me. And I knew on that day, I hadn't been defeated by seafood. I had won! That went really well with the music, didn't it? I'm a fucking genius. So yeah.